Hello everyone and welcome to the Pancake Parlay, episode 91. I'm your host, The Don, and I'm here with Chatters. How are you today?
I'm good, Don. How are you?
I'm good. We are a podcast that talks about movies, TVs, games, and general pop culture every week. So let's just get straight back right into it for our first topic of the week, which is Warcraft 3 Reforged and the drama that is surrounding it. Now, I don't think we've really talked about Warcraft that much but on this podcast, but essentially I'm a big Warcraft fan. I wouldn't say too much about World of Warcraft because I just didn't really have much time for it, but I was mostly for the Warcraft 3 in like 2004 to 2008. That was like my jam. You know, custom games like, you know, created Dota and everything. I just love Warcraft. So essentially I was really excited when they announced Warcraft 3 Reforged because it's basically just a high-res remake. They were going to, you know, update the graphics. They were also going to add in some stuff like cinematics. They were going to do some extra stuff of... I think they were just going to add some extra lore that relates kind of to World of Warcraft to make it more cohesive. And, you know, I was really excited for it. And then basically there was no buzz for the game until really only recently, because until a week it came out. And then it came out. And then people started to find out that the game is basically not the game that we were promised. And now I'm a very sad fan because I love this game and I just want the best for it. I want the community to come back. But the community has already spoken, and this game is not what we wanted.
Yeah,
It's just a sad situation all around.
yeah. I mean, I was gonna say, did you pre-order the game?
No.
Okay.
I'm not. I think I'm not smart enough to dumb enough to at least pre-order any games these days.
After what is it? What is it? The
Fallout
Fallout?
76.
Fallout?
You know.
Oh
Yeah.
boy. You see, there's always got to be one game supposed to teach us the lesson about pre-ordering games, right? Like for me, it was Arkham Knight. That's the one that kind of got me because I delayed playing Arkham Knight for a while. I actually I think within the last like 1 or 2 years I actually played because I think I actually reviewed it for the podcast. Because that's how late and I
Yeah,
clocked it.
and then you were just like, oh, the reveal at the end was not a big reveal. I'm like, yep, surprise.
Well, I mean, I think everybody knew what is it? The Arkham Knight was going to be Red Hood. I think the problem was they were like, no, 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 it wasn't going to be. Anyway, but like, yeah, like for me it was that game. For you it was 76, and yeah, I think. And look, you know what? I'm very glad I stuck to my guns, especially for Cyberpunk, because I was like, I'm not going to pre-order Cyberpunk until like maybe a couple of days before the game comes out because I essentially did. And the thing is, it was a good thing that I ended not doing it because it then got delayed till like September or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want to get like the cool limited edition stuff, and I don't want to like miss out. But
I don't want a broken game. That's basically it.
well, yeah, there's that too. And also, I was thinking, like, you know, with a lot of the times when it comes to like pre-orders and stuff, like they want to get your money, because essentially they can change the prices for certain games. So if they get you at like $60 and then the game goes down to 50, like, well, they've got you $60. So it's too late. Although in a lot of places like Amazon here in Australia, they do have a guarantee that if the price of a game goes down, they will refund you like the difference. So that's really cool. That that is an option. Once again, it is competing with these brick and mortar stores, and they're doing a really good job at doing it too. Like, why go to your local like EB Games, which I think has shut down like a bunch of stores in Australia actually recently.
Even
Like,
if they have a sale, oh my god.
well, they all yeah, well, yeah, that's the thing. When are they not having a sale, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, and again, the issue with Warcraft 3 is once again proving the point that yeah, people shouldn't pre-order, and also people haven't learned their lesson about Blizzard and their current state in
Well, it's
video
not what
game
it's
development.
it's not what it used to be, and I think
No,
this has kind
not
of
at
dug
all.
up a lot of old things where a lot of the main people who founded Blizzard and kind of there from nearly pretty much its inception, they've kind of left Blizzard, and they said that you know, essentially the writing was on the wall and they couldn't make the games that they wanted to make. Where I think there was stuff where there was an interview where one of the main guys was just like, yeah, it used to be like a team that was like very close. we kind of make the cool games that we wanted to make. And then really it started to become a little bit more corporate. And then they had to make certain other games, certain choices. And you can definitely see it in the past, like maybe 2 or 3 years that, they've done mistake after kind of mistake. Obviously the Diablo mobile phone debacle all the way to like pro Hong Kong stance to, this, or even I've heard in Hearthstone that they had to change the art of the cards because it has to go through China's regulations. So there's a lot of stuff that Blizzard's been doing, and Warcraft 3 is just another casualty of it that I feel like they don't care about it, which is really sad because Warcraft 3 means so much to a lot of people, including me, because not only is it a really good RTS, but it introduced a lot of different things like a hero unit with like actual RPG elements. Like if you get items for one particular hero on one mission, it would transfer over to the next one. Had all these custom games like Tower Defense, like Winter Mall, Dota, of course, Angel Arena, like all these things that I used to play for hours and hours because of the custom games has now also been destroyed because on top of this, any custom game that you do make in this is apparently owned by Blizzard. It's not even just, they won't even give you a credit for it or making it. They just own the IP. So I feel like it's also killed the creativity of what could have been, as well as anyone trying to remake any of these, because what's the point of it? Like, and I think the worst point of it, this all, is that they've replaced the old Warcraft 3. Like, you can't play that anymore because they just forced everyone to go on this update. And that's
that's the thing. So from my understanding, like the main reason why they put in the new kind of literature within rights and what they own from user created content is because they don't want to have the same situation that happened with Dota happen again. So essentially, for listeners who aren't familiar with the MOBA game style or Dota at all, Dota originally was a derivative custom game of Warcraft 3. Where it's like a what does MOBA stand for again?
Defense
I don't know.
Of the Ancients?
No. That's what Dota stands for.
Oh, you say MOBA.
MOBA. I forget what it means, but
it basically just means that you have a hero unit, you have creeps, and each one has a base. Go fight.
Yeah. You like slowly meticulously upgrade your hero unit in an RTS format. I never liked the MOBA kind of genre. I kind of hated that phase in games. I'm kind of happy that it's more or less dead. Like I know, League of Legends is probably the only one that's kind of doing really, really well for itself, and I think that's because they have like a really dedicated fan base to it. But Dota, which is currently, that's the weird thing. So Dota was originally a mod for Warcraft 3, but Blizzard tried to gain the IP for that, but they couldn't because it was originally created by IceFrog, the original developer of the game, who then later went to Steam and created Dota 2 on their platform and drove a lot of people there. And so Blizzard had to subsequently, they lost a lot of income and money from, not being able to capitalize on that particular game type. But then their kind of replacement wasn't that good either. I don't really remember it, but because that's the thing. Like with me, I played Warcraft 3. I was a really big fan of RTS games growing up. Like I loved playing Age of Empires 1 and 2 and Age of Mythology. So they had was Warcraft the series the first to introduce the whole concept of a hero unit,
I pretty much did, because I think
I never played 1 or 2, so I don't know.
1 or 2 was just a standard RTS, and I think 3 they wanted to do something a little bit different, because I think the original development of Warcraft 3 they wanted to have this focus on these particular heroes, and it was actually going to be an isometric view almost, or it was not directly a top down view, but then they kind of mixed it in a bit. And I think and I think that works really well, because you had these units that stand out from the main ones, and on top of that they could really shake up battle because they had powers and they had different. And then basically it started the whole thing of the whole map of the game. In essence, there's also neutral points. So for example, there'd be creeps and you can fight those creeps to level up and get items, or you can go to a mercenary camp and basically buy a bunch
get
of
all
mercenaries.
these like abilities,
And that's what
and
it kind of did a lot of different stuff rather than just being like get resources to fight other teammates. I feel like that's why I and a lot of people have so fun memories of it, because Warcraft 3 really did change a lot. And unfortunately, like the RTS genre is relatively dead at this day and age. Like even something like StarCraft 2 is kind of like dead, another Blizzard property, purely because of the MOBAs and things like that. And I guess like people really, the casuals turned into something like a Fortnite, Minecraft, or like even like Overwatch. So like the it's kind of changed almost. But the thing is,
yeah,
and you can see like the genre kind of has it still has its like its niche. Like you still people have even for example a good HD remaster is the Age of Empires 2 remaster that came out, and there was even a most recent one as well, and everyone really loves it, and people are still playing Age of Empires 2, the remaster version.
well,
And it's a shame that Blizzard can't do that.
Funnily you say that. From what I also understand about the Age of Empires like community, like because they released like there was like the Age of Empires 2 HD, but then there was like another remaster that was
Yeah, there's
released.
like a 4K remaster that came out
Yeah,
I
but
think
it like
last year.
yeah, but it split the community because people are like, oh well, I mean, why should I get this game when there's already this game here? Which is really stupid. I don't really understand like why they did that. They should just gave an update, just saying, or give a discount for those people. But yeah, that's the thing with the thing with like Warcraft 3 is like, yeah, I really liked it. I like the fantasy setting, but I think like a lot of the stuff which you mentioned like obviously has left like a sour taste in people's mouths, especially because like the only other thing that I never played World of Warcraft, but I do know people who have played, and so I know some of the storylines. In fact, my official kind of ending for Game of Thrones that I wanted is actually based off one of the storylines from World of Warcraft, which is like the Lich King expansion that came out for World of Warcraft. So I know a little bit.
Yeah,
And then otherwise I just play, otherwise I play Hearthstone. That's my only other kind of kind of World of Warcraft, and that's like kind of a more kind of goofy version of it because you're just playing like it's a digital card game, right? But yeah, other than that, like recently I you see this Reforged thing came out, and I heard about it, and I was like, all right, it's gonna do okay or whatever. But they just dropped the ball. They promised like HD cutscenes or like redone cutscenes and stuff, and they just look like these zoomed in versions, and they don't look that great. Even the updated textures don't look that great either. And I think one of the other things that you mentioned is that it has prevented, because of the new update that came out, it forces people on the original like CD version of the Warcraft 3 game and stuff to have to play it and update it into the new kind of client. Although, from what I understand, you can technically download like an old update and just like not connect it to like the Blizzard servers. Not that I condone that, but that is something that you can do with your own.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in the PC community do that all the time with certain games where they're just like, after this patch, something else changed, so then we'll use the old version. So I feel like that one you can still kind of use. It's only like if, like for example, I own the game on disc. I still have my old discs, and like obviously if you link it to your account, like it is linked to my Blizzard account, so at any time I can download it from like the website, like the installer. But I'm pretty sure I can put in the disc and install it that way. I would I'd think, but even then, like
I think
the thing is I can't play online,
is,
and that's that's also a problem because they took out the old servers I think like a year ago.
Yeah, you see, I haven't been up to date. It's been a long time since I've played, like literally quite like 10 plus years since I've played, like if not longer.
I just missed the game because like it's like
it's a good game.
Yeah, it's not only that, but I think I just played so much custom games. Like there's the vampirism where like a random player would be a vampire and you got to build like a base to block the vampire, or like all the tower defense games were just so great to play, or like Footman Frenzy. Like I just have all these fun memories of these custom games that other people made. Or like there was like Angel Arena where you would have like Luffy from One Piece battling some sort of like other thing, like the alien from Aliens, because someone customly made some cool stuff. Or like you'd have Goku there, and then everyone have their own items, and it was like this really cool like interesting meta thing, and apparently they got rid of that as well, where any third party licenses can't be a part of the game, which is like a really big shame because there's a lot of cool stuff, like that was kind of like, oh, this is this, but it's not really that, or like even small stuff like Run Kitty Run, which is basically you just had to avoid obstacles and go through a maze. That always used to have nightcore versions of songs, so it'd be like Linkin Park's Numb, or like Cascada's Every Time We Touch. And it's like that was just
Sure.
that is such a like a mid 2000s choice.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
And
definitely.
now you can't put any probably like copyrighted music into these custom games because like the world's very different from what it was now.
Well, yeah, I think the thing is, and it kind of makes sense. Before the ecosystem, they decided to leave it open because if they kind of leave it to people, modding their own games, they're not under any kind of financial liability to third parties. But if they are going to be taking ownership of people's custom maps and as their own kind of IP, then they do have to start caring about what is posted and stuff. So it kind of makes like the decision makes sense. It's obviously it just sucks. Thing is, it doesn't really matter too much for me because I only really played the campaign, and that's it. I never played the online stuff, but it does suck that like that is a component that I think a lot of people really enjoyed as well. And that's the thing that really sucks because ultimately, this is the kind of stuff that people wanted from the game because they wanted to play the game from its glory days, but now in like 4K or whatever it may be. But once again, I think it just goes to show that Blizzard is kind of going down, like they're not the developers that they used to be. And yeah, it's not going to be that good going forward in terms of what's on their agenda. Because what's the next big game that's coming out? Diablo 4.
They've got Overwatch 2, ha ha ha. And even then, they've said, oh yeah, we're gonna fix this game, even though they knew it was broke. But even then, like it's already like there's so many things you'd have to take back and change for anyone to really love this game to what it should have been. And that's the thing. It's just a real big shame. And yeah,
it's not a good way. I mean, it's not a good way to start off the new year for Blizzard, at least. They ended last year pretty badly, and they started this year really awfully. But yeah, we'll go and see.
Well, so much so that this game is the worst rated game on Metacritic.
Yeah, I heard they even like, people even like upvoted or like kind of gave positive reviews to the previous bad game just so they could make that more higher on the list than this game, which is ridiculous. But like again, yeah, it is hilarious. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how Blizzard goes in the current digital landscape that we're in.